I'm Dr. House, Chief of Diagnostic Medicine at Princeton Hospital, specializing in solving complex cases that leave other physicians stumped. Today I'm facing a crisis that could send the entire hospital into panic. Several innocent babies are fighting for their lives on death's doorstep, and I must identify the culprit before time runs out. It all began with a simple touch. A doctor barely made contact with an infant, and the child immediately went into convulsions requiring emergency resuscitation. Upon awakening, the baby was covered in rashes, running a fever, and suffering from small bowel obstruction. This was already the second similar case. My instincts told me there was a serious infection spreading throughout the hospital, but the chief administrator rejected my isolation recommendation due to insufficient evidence. She quickly paid the price for her stupidity when 3 more infants developed symptoms within half an hour, all rapidly deteriorating. Facing 2 babies in critical condition, my team and I unanimously concluded this was a bacterial infection, so we simultaneously administered vancomycin and aztreonam, 2 antibiotics powerful enough to combat all possible pathogenic bacteria. But soon, worse news arrived. The babies developed kidney failure. I knew one of the ineffective antibiotics was causing adverse reactions, but I couldn't determine which one. I now face an impossible situation. Discontinuing all antibiotics would kill the babies from disease progression, while continuing treatment would kill them from renal failure. Given these circumstances, I made a brutal but necessary decision. Stop vancomycin in one child and aztreonam in the other. The child receiving the correct treatment would recover, but the one receiving the wrong choice would inevitably die. The results proved all our assumptions wrong. The baby taken off vancomycin experienced rapid blood pressure drop and cardiac arrest despite our best resuscitation efforts. We couldn't save that tiny life. The infant taken off aztreonam also continued deteriorating, indicating both medications were ineffective. Everyone was at a loss, but I refused to give up. In the morgue during the dead of night, I finally discovered the truth through autopsy. The infant's cardiac muscle showed fibrosis and lymphocytic infiltration, classic viral infection symptoms. Through process of elimination and blood work, I identified the echovirus 11, relatively harmless to adults but lethal to infants. After identifying the pathogen, I immediately administered antiviral agents to all affected babies, and they began improving. However, the infection source remained a mystery until I noticed a nurse wiping her nose. She had contaminated stuffed toys with the virus through her fingers, then distributed them to all the babies, spreading the infection. Once we identified the viral source, this crisis finally came to an end, and my taut nerves could finally relax.